self-worth into my achievements. So the more I achieve, the better I feel about myself, the higher my self-esteem is. So knowing that I failed, like, you can imagine, like, the setbacks in my head, I was like literally questioning everything. It was like a proper ego death. And I just, like, it took me so long, like the 6 months after that, even I was still like, yo, like, this happened, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, even at work, I didn't want to talk about it. Any talk of probation, like, I was just so quiet as a church mouse. I don't want to, like, nobody, like, guys, I isolated. I left the team group chat. Like, I don't want anybody to know anything. Like, I was just so out of it. I was just like, you know what? Like, I just buried my head in the sand. I couldn't do it. And then at some point, I was just like, you know what? Like, you need to stop the pity party. And I think at the time, like, I just started, like, listening to, like, podcasts and trying to figure a way out of it. And I wrote a few steps from them. And, like, literally ever since, it has been my daily bread. Like, anytime I come across any failure, I always come back to my journal, my book of life. If you ever see this book in your life, please know it has my life secrets. My life secrets. But anyways, these are the steps I have. So step 1 was to sit with the failure and disappointment. Thoughts?
Pain demands to be felt.
Ooh, John Green.
No, pain demands to be felt.
No,
I think
real.
Like, there's nothing more to it. Like,
and
air demand shit. You can
what's
him so much? Drive it away, dress it away, drink it away, smoke it away, fly it away. You can do everything. I have a day. When it's here, it's definitely here, and you're gonna have to sit in it and be like, and you don't go, you famba, guys. There's going and then there's famba. You just famba. And you just have to make peace with it. Now, I'm fumbling right now and I can't do anything. Like, you make peace with it immediately.
Okay, point number 2 was view your failures as something natural that happens to everybody.
Yes, because I think what people tend to do is, I think for me sometimes, but not all the time, sometimes I do that. I'm an island. There's no one around me. I'm an island. So if I'm experiencing this, there's no one else in this world that experiences this. And it's like, sweetie, how do you think they make cures? How do you think there's a cure for this and this and this? Because trust me, there was someone who had a headache. There was someone else who had a headache in this world. Someone had flu. Someone had
people died.
So come on, why do you feel like you are the first person to die?
For sure.
So definitely, when you leave that I'm an island and there's actually people around me.
Number 1.
Stand.
Number 3, failure is not an opportunity to overcompensate.
True. True, because it's but I'll say this. Parents. You can see it with our parents. And I'm not using I'm not using my parents or our parents into this example. But I'm just saying, with parents, you find it. And I think God bless single mothers out there. Literally, God bless you. Because I've seen single mothers that have even went to the point where they're like, because my son doesn't have a father or an active father, I now need to compensate. And I need to be this big of a parent. And it's like, you can't. You know,
you can only show up as what you are.
You can show up as what you are and what you're strong as. Whatever that you haven't received from the other person, which is my dad. Listen, they're MIA.
Hey.
And they're MIA, but like it's they feel like I need to be a bigger of a parent. I need to do this,
mother and
I need to be mother and father, and my child, boy or girl, I need to. And it's a thing of, you can do so much, but the rest, what you can't do. I think it's a big the thing what I enjoy about God. It's a thing of hey, what you lack, God's got it. So let him feel the rest. And you know, it's you just need to believe that there's somebody. There's somebody that's gonna take care of my kid. There's someone that my kid is gonna see is gonna be like, that's a father figure too, you know. And
there's community.
There's community, you know. And personally, for me, myself, listen, I got so many dads. And I don't cry. Like I don't sit there and be like, oh, I don't have a dad, and that's why a lot of things don't work out for me. Like I don't sit in that at all because I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I got dads.
Yeah.
I got dads and I can call on them because life is not cute, you know. But it's a thing of there is a form of like, because this didn't work out, I need to then do more, and it's like no, you'll drive yourself mad.
And then step 4 and 5 together. Step 4 is take accountability, and then step 5 being failure shows you that you have weaknesses.
And let's go back to number 4.
Accountability. Accountability, for sure. On this, you really have to sit with yourself and say, "La, I did not do my best."
Yo, I gotta do my research actually.
Maybe had I done this better, and had I done this, and had I done this is where I went wrong. If you're able to be real with yourself and say, I did this and I did this, I could have done this better, you are so much better for it. You are so much better for it. Because once you know where you have wrong, I feel like that then creates the path for you to either right said wrongs or merge a better path.
But I also feel like when you in that step, for me personally, if I struggle to do a 3D view of myself, I then invite community to say, okay, I've realized I know I went wrong. Does anyone see where I could have calibrated? Because guys, no man is an island. So if I know Nyakulega, I normally will call like a friend or two. I mean, how many times have I called you?
Yeah.
And be like, hey, maybe in your eyes you can tell me where I could have shifted the gear, because it does help. Like extra outside eyes, like viewing an issue from a 3D point and you taking yourself out of it helps you look at it as a general. Like, okay, I see this, I see it for this, and I see it for that. So definitely, I agree.
Cool. And then I think step 6 is something that we've gone over as well, is to show ourselves some grace.
Please.
Grace is the word of the day.
Please, if you can, be kind to yourself.
You have to
be kind to yourself, because no one is going to be kind to you.
I feel like everybody says that. All of us are like, oh, be kind to yourself, but nobody actually ever like explains like what that looks like. What does that, like, let's say you're speaking to a cishet man, you know, ruined by the world, just tarnished and poisoned by the world. How would that man show himself kindness? Look disgust in your face. How would he show himself kindness? Like,
he's
what
got privilege? Why would he be experiencing all of these? He's got privilege.
I mean, yeah, men do have privilege, but they do fail at things.
Yes, they do.
Probably.
But I'm just saying, privilege.
But how would he? What advice would you give?
Here's my thing. For me, this works. You know, I do it step by step. Like I do it daily for myself, because like currently I'm going through things. But currently, when I say be kind to yourself, I don't push myself to the ledge when I'm having immediate sad thoughts. Like there are times where I'm very, very dark with myself, and I'd be like, oh, because you're doing ABCD, that's why you were there. And it's a thing to say, when I get into that phase of trying to always blame myself and putting the blame to say, you failed to do 1, 2, 3, I come back then to say, well, you know what? You didn't know better.
Exactly.
You didn't know better.
At the end of the day,
you did not
the information you know right now is what is going to help you make whatever decision
you think is the best.
Exactly. And sometimes, you know, you are still a small girl, a small boy. Sometimes you don't know enough. And that's not a fault of yours. It's just where you are at that point in life. So you're gonna make decisions based on the information you had, and you can't blame yourself for not knowing what you didn't know at that time. You cannot.
So that's how you show yourself
grace.
Kindness. Like that's how you say, Chris, you just say, I don't know better. And I'm sorry for not knowing better, you know. So when's again? There's nothing I can do to take it back. It is what it is. But what I can do is to avoid it from happening again and falling into the same trap. That's what I always say to people. That's how, if the universe wants to see if you've moved on from a lesson or a challenge, it's going to repeat the same thing twice. If you've really moved on, trust me, you will never see the same cycle repeat itself in a different way or a different format. And when you're ready to say, I'm tired of this cycle, trust me, it will give you the next challenge. It's going to be the same challenge. It's just waiting to see, are you going to fall into that trap or are you going to pull yourself out of it? If you fall into it, it's okay. You have not learned. You will learn. You are learning. And that's why I think that's another thing. Like, we don't talk about if you go through the same challenge again and again. Maybe you haven't seen grasped the concept of this is what it is, and you need to fully see it in order to say, shouldn't have done that. You know. So
and that's where accountability comes in too.
That's where the accountability comes to. But also, if you haven't learned, it is okay. Like fail.
Yeah, fail.
Like,
fail as many times as
fail
you
as much as you can until one would say, as in, this does not bring me joy. Maria Kondo, when the girl says, does this spark me joy? If it doesn't, pack it away, because you know, there's nothing here for me. I'm just wasting my time, you know.
Sure.
And people fail to do that with relationships. They fail.
Guys, Jalan. Anyways, next point being, you need to reframe what has happened. And by reframing, what I mean by that is knowing that people fail, but just because you failed, that doesn't make you a failure.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with failing. We there's a shame with branding.
Yeah,
you know, you attach that branding to yourself. Whereas you can say, I failed at that time. This time I'm not failing. You know?
Or even though I failed at this, that doesn't take away from all my other strengths and whatever else that I'm good at.
I'm good at, because I mean, hey, I failed maths in Afrikaans.
Hey.
And I thought it was the end of the world. Boom, next year, your boy came back fighting. So it's a thing of, do you think because of this, you failed everything in life? And when you're like, but I'm great at other things. And those things, geez, you cannot duplicate them. They can't duplicate it. They can't make it. They can't produce it. It only comes from me. So it's reframe. I see it. And I agree with you.
Okay, and then I have a few other points that I feel like kind of gel with each other. But the one that sticks out for me, or I'm going to mention them all together, is that you should work on cultivating your weakness. And what I mean by that is to repair yourself, right? And once you've repaired yourself, you need to identify what qualities you need to activate to allow you to either be better at whatever it is that you failed, or to move forward in a better way. And that normally includes having an insane amount of discipline. Also looking at your day-to-day. How are you doing things? What do you do? What's the first thing you do when you wake up? Like, what's motivating you? Like, you need to look at all of those things, because all those very little things end up building and leading to that one thing. So it could be that, you wake up, TikTok, you don't even go brush your teeth, you don't bath, you don't do anything, you are, half-assing work, you don't care about anything, and that could be what leads you to your failure. Whereas when you wake up and you affirm yourself, you exercise, you eat healthy, you actually prepare yourself mentally for the day, and when the day comes, you face it head on. And when you face those challenges and you go through your day, that allows you to have a different mindset, and that could also then lead you to a different path, and that could be success and not failure. So you always have to look at the very minuscule, the very tiny things, and like really think about, okay, when you prepare yourself as well, what has this failure shown me about myself? What is it that I need to work on? Do I need to be more patient? Do I need to be more resilient? What do you need to do? What do you need to do for yourself? What does it need to take from yourself for you to do better, for you to succeed, for you to pass? Yeah.
True. No, this is hitting home. This is hitting home. You're preaching to the right choir today.
No, for real. Because I feel like you also, like, I feel like for me, in terms of that point, right? I'm, as much as, I guess at times, like, you got feedback, it was in front of the whole class, blah, blah, blah. When I started working, I wasn't really, like, I was scared to, like, get feedback. Or if I would get feedback, like, it would, like, freak me out or just shake me to my core. And to be honest, you need feedback. Feedback shapes you. It helps you to, okay, this is where I went wrong. This is where I can do better. And the more feedback you get, the stronger it makes you. And the more you're unafraid of getting feedback, the more of it you require. The more you get, the better your work, the better the results. So generally, it's really a matter of like psyching yourself up, saying to yourself, you know what, this is not personal. It's just about the work. This is how the work needs to look, and I haven't brought it to that standard. And I now need to do whatever I need to do to make the work up to the standard that it is required to be at. And really, it's not personal. It's not personal.
Definitely.
It's not personal at all. Congrats once again on making it to the end of part 2. For now, I'll leave you with these gems for you to ruminate on until we meet again in part 3. Thanks. Bye.